Okay, here's a video on how to find the volume of cones. Okay, so first let's talk about what a cone is. A cone is a three-dimensional object that has a circle at the base and the top tapers to a point. Think of an ice cream cone, for example. When you are finding the volume of a cone, you need to be able to use a couple of the measurements of a cone. The first is the height of the cone. Which is how tall it is. That would come from the center of the point all the way down to the center of the circle. That's the height. And since the bottom of a cone is a circle, you need to know the radius of the cone, of the bottom, which is the distance from the center of the circle out to the edge. If you're given the diameter, which is the distance all the way across the circle, make sure you divide that in half because you do need the radius to find the volume of a cone. Okay, so here's the formula for the volume of a cone. First of all, it is 1/3 of the area of the base, which is a circle, so that is pi r squared. This part's the area of a circle times the height, h. 1/3 pi r squared h, or pi r squared h divided by 3. Finding 1/3 of something is the same as dividing by 3. Okay, so let's look at a very specific example. Let's say the height of this cone was 6 inches and the radius was 8 inches. To find the volume, we're going to plug in our numbers here and then do our math to figure it out. So pi, we all know, is 3.14 times the radius, 8 squared, times the height, 6, divided by 3. Okay, so let's start with the 8 squared. Remember, that is not 8 times 2. That is 8 times 8. So this is 64. And bring everything else down. Now, if we multiply this across, and I do recommend you use your calculators for this so you don't make mistakes. 3.14 times 64 times 6, and we get 1,205.75, which we are now going to divide by 3. 401.92. And since this is three-dimensional, we're talking about volume, this is in cubic inches, or inches cubed, which is the third power. Okay, so that's how you do a cone. Let's look at one more example. Okay, if this cone's on its side, don't let that throw you off. And the height of the cone, go right to the center here, is 12 inches. And the distance all the way across the bottom of the cone, or the round part of the cone, the circle, is 16 inches. Okay, so do we see an issue already? Hopefully we do. I didn't give you the radius, did I? I gave you the diameter. So if the diameter is 16, we need to take 16 divided by 2 to get us the radius. So the radius is 8 inches. So let's use our formula here and start plugging in our numbers. 3.14 times the radius squared. Oh, look at that, we have 8 squared again, times the height, 12. At the end, we'll divide by 3. So we know this is 64, so I'm going to multiply right across. 3.14 times 8 times 8 times 12, and we get 2,411.52. I'm just going to double check that. Sometimes you need to double check things just to make sure we didn't make a mistake. Okay, I'm all set. So I'm going to bring down the divided by 3. Many people forget to divide by 3. Got to remember to divide by 3. Otherwise, you're actually finding the volume of a cylinder. And cone is much smaller than a cylinder because it tapers to a point. So once we divide this by 3, we get 803.84. And this one's also in cubic inches. So that is how we find the volume of cones. Hopefully this has been helpful.